Hi, my name is Eric Bruning, and I'm going to take over the presentation part and do a little demo after I'm done. And I'm going to go more into code-based stuff. And so here is one thing that you definitely need in your Perl programs, and this is for Windows and Unix-based systems to find the Perl interpreter in your operating system so it can compile and run. Also, you need to use strict and use warnings, which are two pragmas, and a pragma is a module which influences some aspect of the compile time or runtime behavior of Perl. Adding these two statements allows you to restrict unsafe constructs and gives control over which warnings are enabled in which parts of the program. In earlier versions of Perl, you didn't really have to use it, but now it's strongly encouraged. And here is also a way you can initialize a variable. This is a scalar variable or data type, and you start out by typing my, and the $sign creates it as a scalar, and you can just name it whatever you want. So we have these three, and so when you type it in right here, this like simple operators, this is the addition operator, the same thing as all the other ones. And instead of like C++ or Java where you do cout or system.out.println, you can just do print and quotation marks, put in your variable, and we will run it. And how you run a Perl program is we're in Strawberry Perl right now, and all the Perl documents or programs are in the documents folder. So then you type in Perl and the file name .pl, and obviously 2 plus 3 is 5. You can do minus, which all that minus, divide, multiply, and the exponent one is easier than C++ as you type in like pow or something like that. This is going to be easier. Just type in 2 star signs. So we'll do this again, and it's going to be 8. The logical operators are pretty similar to C++ and Java as well. You can use or, and, not, stuff like that. We'll do or first. See if it's 5 or 10. So we'll do logical.pl. Success. And we'll change it. You can type in actually the word or if you want, and that also works out too. Same as and. Some control flow statements that you can use are pretty similar to Java and C++, like if statements, for loops, do while loops, stuff like that. Some of them are pretty much the exact same syntax as C++ and Java, but you can also change it up, kind of like this. Here's a form. You can just type in print whatever, and then your if statement can be after it. So you can run it like that. And both of these, if these equal 5, they both equal 5, so they're both going to print. One of the other statements that you can use as a control flow statement is the unless statement. You cannot use this in C++ or Java, so it's kind of exclusive to Perl. And right here I have the code. I put in like the same thing for the if statement and the unless statement, and the unless statement is pretty much the false statement for an if. So if we run it, it should go through the unless statement instead of the if statement like it did. Printed the unless statement. You can also do while statements in Perl, and I put a do while statement inside. I put in if else if statements. What's weird about Perl is instead of typing in else if, you leave out the e and you just put els if. I do not know why, but that's how it works. And so if you run it, it's going to go through each one, and it's going to run 3 times. So we'll run that, and it goes through each one. Here is how you can implement a subroutine, and we named it function just to make it pretty generic. Print hello world, and then you can just call it wherever. And we didn't use those use or do or require statements. You can just call it however right here, and it'll run it for you. So we'll run that, and that's how it works. Perl can also take arguments from the command line when you type it in. We're going to type in just a value, and if it's negative, it'll print negative. If it's positive, it'll print positive. So how you type in the arguments, you just do it after you type in the file name. So we're just going to type in -1. It's going to say negative value, and then we're going to do 1, and it'll do positive value. Also, you can do user input after you run the program and assign it to a variable. We're going to do it here by using this statement right here. So we're going to ask how old I am, and then I'm going to type it in. It's going to print it out for me. We're going to run it. Ask how old I am, 21, and I'm 21 years old. So I'm going to go through some merge sort and quick sort programs that we typed up in Perl, but first I'm going to show you some merge sort and quick sort program through C++, and you can see that there is a lot of lines that you need to type in through here. Here's the merge sort, like methods or functions that you would have to implement first, and then here is the quick sort ones. And after you do all that, you're gonna have to call it in main, and here's all the main stuff that you would have to implement. But if you go over to Perl, there is 10 lines, and it sorts it for you that easy. It's like that because there is a sort function that Perl already has, and all you have to do is type in merge sort right here or quick sort, and it chooses which sort that you want to use, and it'll sort it for you. So we have our array. We just got some random numbers here. Use sort function or method, and we got the merge sort in there. Create our array that we want sorted, and this will sort our numbers ascending wise. And instead of like a for loop, you can just put print and your array, and it will print your entire array instead of just like the first of the array. So now I will run the code and show you that it will sort the array, and there you go. And here is our quick sort program. Pretty much, actually, it is the exact same thing, except with the use sort function, we just changed the name to quick sort. So we will just type it in like that, and it's sorted the same way. So some of the advantages of Perl over C++ that I found out were the Perl programming language is an interpreter language, and that is, it runs faster than a compiler language like C++. And obviously after we saw the merge sort and quick sort functions code between each other, obviously Perl is a lot less code, and it has its own functions like sort, so it's easier. And you don't have to initialize the size of your arrays like you would in like Java, and it helps out a lot because if you're running your for loops in Java, then it sometimes doesn't work. Also, with the printing, you have to do the for loops in C++ and Java to print your whole array, which in Perl you don't. You just do print and type in your name of your array. And we also found out the calling functions is a lot simpler and cleaner. You just have to type in the name of the function or use and then the function, instead of typing like dot. But also some disadvantages of Perl over C++ is you have a debugger in C++ and Java, So you can step through your code and figure out exactly where you're messing up and need to change some stuff. And it's more organized with the functions and the main. Even though you have to write more lines of code, you can figure out exactly what's going on and figure out what you need to do. If you want to try out Perl, there's some downloads for Windows. You're lucky if you have a Linux operating system or Mac because it's already on there. But a couple examples of a Perl download would be Strawberry Perl, which was the Perl that we were using, or Active Perl. Some references that we used that we figured out the operators and control statements and stuff like that was www.tutorialspoint.com and perl.org. If you pretty much want to find anything out about Perl, these are the two main ones to go to.